Somebody once told me. Sorry people, I'm suffering from post-brain damage syndrome, I guess, because I just had to dive deep into some of the worst anime you will ever see on the face of the earth, okay? And let me tell you, that will leave a very, very, very long-lasting impression on me, okay? I think I found something that's even worse than Aiken, okay? Just pray for me, my friends, and be terrified. Terrified to your core! But alas, we must first work our way up to that. But before we really get into this, I just want to clear the air and tell everyone what I'm trying to not list and what I won't be listing. For example, stuff like Sword Art Online. Yes, I personally think Sword Art Online is a heaping pile of horse pucky not worthy of a fraction of the fan base that it's accumulated for being one of the most trite and poorly written animes I've ever had the misfortune of sitting down and watching. Actually, scratch that. Sao, on the list. You dirty dot hack ripoff. But I'm going to be avoiding mainstream titles as much as I can at least. And I'm not going to be including debatably bad shows on the list simply because I'd like this list to have more of a je ne sais quoi, but in the opposite direction, if you will. The creme de la creme of the worst anime, if you will. Oh, and I'm not listing hentai. If I listed bad hentai, I would be here for A, way too long, B, there's also no way that my show would survive on YouTube if I'm telling you about which animated porn is good. You should put Boku no Pico on the list. As if I haven't heard that in the past 2 years. Yeah, you're really original there. Sorry, buddy, but out of all the really, really bad hentais out there, I'm just not going to sit down and watch them, okay? And I'm not going to be playing clips of them because I refuse to really dig in through some of the weird, disgusting fetishes that ends up in anime, okay? Look, ain't gonna happen. Ain't watching it. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started with our first pick, and it's a pretty easy target. Pilot Candidate, a lesser-known mecha anime that was syndicated on Toonami, if you can believe it. This was a confusing and boring little piece of crap to sit through. None, I repeat, none of what I was watching ever made sense to me when I was 9, and after re-watching a bit of it, it still doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me now. We got these mechs called goddesses, and they're apparently super awesome and better than other mechs, which there is this school for in space, sorta, and our main character Zero has some kind of bond with one of them, sorta. And one of the candidates is a girl who has cat ears, and I have no idea what I'm watching. Maybe the manga or the Japanese version makes a little bit more sense, but I just know that I didn't care about anything that I was seeing, and I was bored out of my mind watching it. All I saw was a whole lot of nothing happening, and I really prefer to other mecha shows like any of the other Gundam series that Toonami would play, or especially Big O. I'm sorry that there's not a lot of hard analysis going on in this anime, but there's really not a lot I can say about it, other than the fact that it was, for reasons unknown, localized with an English dub, even though the series wasn't finished and underperformed in Japan. So even if you were to try and watch this show and maybe make sense of it, it wouldn't matter because the series doesn't have a proper conclusion. What the... Why did they bring it here? What was the point? It wasn't finished, wasn't going to be finished, and yet they still dubbed it? Was it like a cheap paycheck for the voice actors or something? Whatever. Either way, Pilot Candidate, rejected. Oh boy, from boring and confusing to stupid and perverted. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, I present to you Jungle Deku. Actually, I take back that all ages thing immediately. Do not show this to anybody, okay? This is, without a doubt, one of the worst animes ever made. It is pure, concentrated suck injected into an anime. I'm certain that if you were to show this to anybody who is in a coma, they would happily wake up, unplug their life support, and then go back into the coma just to avoid seeing it ever again. Be afraid, people. This thing makes Aiken look like a Miyazaki movie. It's a comedy show, a bad one, a very, very bad one. Ooh. The plot revolves around Natsumi Kudo, a 10-year-old whose father, upon returning from New Guinea, gives her a magical cursed item. After she fashions it into earrings, she's visited by this thing.
Startled you, didn't I?
Who's this old man?
Who am I? That's an astute question. I am a god known as a Hem.
Great. I took a stance on not showing animated porn on this program, and yet this thing shows up. It's like, I may as well show hentai. How do you top that thing? What is he? He's naked and it looks like he poached his codpiece off of a rhinoceros. I guess that makes him very horny. I guess he's too uncomfortable to do the rim shot. Can't really say I blame him. This is a Hem, a New Guinea magic spirit who's trying to stop a demon from destroying the earth. He grants Natsumi a necklace, and to utilize its magic, she must do a special dance. Doing so transforms her into a busty earth spirit, because of course it does! Do you want to know what the dance looks like? Well, if so, I recommend having some of this on standby.
Squeeze it up, squeeze it up. Donde cala, cala, cala,
Be thankful I had to cut that down for pacing issues, because it actually goes on for quite a while. And now keep this in mind, but Natsumi has to do that dance in order to access her magic, and before you go, cool, let me just remind you, she's 10!
There's a secret right in that store right there from Kaiser.
Do not watch this anime. I refuse to finish it. I've only seen about 10-15 minutes cut up, and what isn't mentally scarring is also a lot of yelling.
What the hell happened to the jungle? Where is the jungle?
A lot of yelling. I could have put this one last. Hell, if I hadn't found what I actually put as last, I would have made this one last because, dang, it's a pure kind of bad. But the only reason I put this earlier is primarily because I can't handle Jungle Day Iku and what I actually have as last back to back. Lest I lose my mind completely. So we're gonna go back to another easier target, I guess. Don't watch Jungle Day Iku! Okay, now this one is more of an honorable mention because I really haven't watched it. Sorta. I'll explain. From the outsider looking in, it looks like an anime that would be right up my alley because it's a martial arts based anime and I love those. In fact, it actually looks kinda cool. I like how the main character isn't some spry, never-say-die space cadet with a learning disability, and is instead a 6-foot-tall, stoic female. That's actually pretty cool and unique. I haven't seen that yet. I mean, the anime even starts off promising. We get this really quick, badass fight scene opening that gives you a taste of what's to come, and then it shows up.
Yes!
No. Yeah, this is one of those cases wherein a voice actress performance really puts me off from anything to do with this show. That character's voice is like the demon from Jungle Day Iku if you grabbed his testicles and squeezed till you heard a pop. Now, I mean, if you can get past that, then you might actually have a solid anime to watch. But for me, I can't do it. I can't put up with a character who's that obnoxious. Sorry, Airmaster fans, if there are any of you out there. Hope you're not too mad at me, but kill it. Kill it now. Kill it! ton of people who have unique and creative ideas for stories. Shameless plug time. I'm writing a comic book. It's called Wild Fighters, and it's like martial arts anime, the very thing that I love to death. You should totally follow me online and keep up with the project. It's coming. And then there are people who just have really stupid ideas for stories, and sometimes those ideas get made into an anime. Enter the show Virgin Fleet. Its entire premise is that there's a special kind of magic that women can harness by never having sexual intercourse. They go to a school to learn how to harness this type of power by learning to become fighter pilots. You see, this is the kind of idea you get for a story if you take an IV bag and replace its saline solution with straight whiskey. Who made this? This was made by Oji Hiroi? Huh. This is a weird reality we live in. Okay, so the concept alone should probably put you off just for its pure concentrated stupidity, but let's just say you gave it the benefit of a doubt and decided to watch it. I mean, it's made by a very talented person, so why not?
But you know, nobody really believes in virgin energy anymore. It's just an old myth.
Well, then why is there a school for it? Okay, let's just think about this for a second. This is like if Harry Potter went to Hogwarts and everyone there told him, yeah, nobody here really believes in magic. How do you sink the entire concept in one stupid line? That's amazing. On top of that, we have nothing but obnoxious and likable character after obnoxious and unlikable character. And you have a show that's guaranteed to be remembered for one thing, and one thing only. For being a monumentally stupid idea, and a black mark on the career of an otherwise talented man. I better watch out for Sega Sanshiro, because I have a feeling he may bust down my door for talking smack about his waifu's dad. To stave off the inevitable beatdown, I got a Sega Saturn right there, and I'm gonna play it later. When you exclude certain high-ranking notorious titles like Aiken, Boku no Pico, and School Days while asking, what is the worst anime you've ever seen online, you get a ton of different answers. That, or my friends and fans, are just a bunch of nerds. You're all nerds. And your wife who doesn't love you. One of the more common ones that I've seen recommended to me is this one anime called Mars of Destruction. After returning from Mars, the world is suddenly plagued by indestructible creatures called Ancients. An alien suit is so far the only weapon that has any effect on the Ancients, and now humanity needs to discover how to destroy these beings and save the world. Well, okay, that's a simple but kinda generic story. In fact, it sounds like it just ripped off Exo Manowar. But hey, not all stories need to be complicated. Sometimes a simple little alien invasion story can be fun as long as the characters are fun and the battles are engaging, so come on, how bad can it be? Ha! That's amazing! That's like the best thing ever! Please tell me there's more of that! Oh god, it's one of those shows. One of those animes that's just slow and boring to watch, thanks to a high amount of incompetence on behalf of the staff who made it, saved by only a few fleeting moments of unintentional hilarity as a result of said incompetence. Now, I'm not an animator, but I guarantee I could have saved this whole project just by being in the same room as the animators and giving them over-the-shoulder advice. And the only advice they would probably need is, speed up your animation, dingus! It's boring! Look, if you're inexperienced and on a budget, I get that. But hide your inexperience through quick cuts, clever editing tricks, and a focus more so on pacing. If you know something looks like crap, and I refuse to believe that you don't, hide it. Don't linger on stuff. Pick up the pace, put it in editing software, and speed it up a bit. Nobody wants to watch a slow and boring action scene. Trim the fat. It's a lesson that both the creators of this and Iron Maiden need to learn. The characters don't even really deserve an analysis since they all have same face and body syndrome. There's no distinction between them other than hairstyles and glasses. Hell, most of them even wear the same uniforms. Mars of Destruction, one infamous clip on YouTube, is about as good as it ever got. And that should scare you. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, are you guys prepared for one of the finest examples of a comedy of errors, albeit unintentional, ever? Okay, I present to you Musashi Gundo. Because it's about Musashi. And he's got a gun. Don't. Just roll the clip. I'm embarrassed too. Do I even need to say it? Who cares about the plot at this point? The animation is awful! Even if the story was the Citizen Kane of anime, I refuse to believe that anybody could take it seriously. It's on a whole different level with how bad it is. I mean, look! He's shooting dozens of ineffective shots with revolvers! And he never even reloads them! That is hysterical, okay? I honestly recommend that you watch it just for how purely bad it is. But speaking of bad anime that I recommend... Ah yes, Voltage Fighter Go Kaiser. I plan on giving this a more thorough look later on down the road, because personally I find the game is based on to be an underrated fighting game, but I'll give you the rundown so you get the idea. But first, let me introduce you to a man named Masami Hobari. He's frequently lampooned for liking his cheesecake in anime and his hyper-stylized designs. Now, despite what you're looking at, the man has talent, and he's made some genuinely good anime in the past, like the excellent Fatal Fury OVAs, Detonator Oregon, Gravion, and I've been interested in checking out Virus Buster Surge. But you gotta have a certain taste to enjoy Obari. If you like mecha, great, he's probably on your list of favorites already because nobody draws mechs like Obari. The man's got an eye for giant robots. Oh, and weird porn. He makes porn too. Demon girls with dicks and monsters. Anyway, on to one of his more notorious works in anime, and I don't mean his pornography. A little OVA based on the aforementioned fighting game, Voltage Fighter Go Kaiser. And it's a mess of nonsensical plot scenarios, goofy character designs, and stilted dialogue. Oh, and this.
Dear brother.
Whatever happens, I will protect you.
I'm not showing it to you, but what you think is going on in that scene is exactly what's going on in that scene. And yet, at the end of the day, I actually recommend that people watch it. It's a special kind of bad, and if there's one thing Obari doesn't know how to do is he doesn't know how to make things boring. This raises Go Kaiser way above the previous titles I've mentioned on this list. It's not exactly a comedy of errors because Obari's animation style is ever present and sleek as usual. It's a very enjoyable kind of bad because at least what you're looking at wasn't done for the cash, but instead was done because the guy wanted to make something entertaining. I don't know if he set up to make it good, but he certainly set up to make it entertaining, and in that right, he succeeded, and in reality, you should watch it just for Karen.
133rd Generation Priestess of Heaven, Karin-san, here to the rescue!
What is up with that girl's clothes? Take a deep breath, people, because what I'm about to show you is gonna leave you speechless. Remember 2 years ago when the very first anime I picked was Sleeping with Hinako? And the whole thing was just 45 minutes of an anime girl sleeping? Well, apparently somebody did, because someone at Earthstar Entertainment thought it would be a brilliant idea to make an entire series based on that premise, but only if you remove the waifu and make every episode about a different guy. Why did they make this? Were the people just chomping at the bit and requesting, nay, demanding, that they have a TV show about sleeping anime dudes? Now look, I'm one of those guys who just can't sleep unless I have some kind of background noise going on. I have a head that just doesn't shut up, so I'll put on a TV show, a movie, or just watch some nerd complain about a movie I haven't seen. You know, something to really knock me out. But may I ask the point of having an anime where you watch it just to go to sleep? Or worse, actually get invested into the sleeping anime guy? I mean, if you want boring, just put on Pilot Candidate or Mars of Destruction. That'll put you right to sleep. And what's weirder is that the first guy, Mary, bears a striking resemblance to King of Fighters newcomer, Meitenkun, which was released a year after this series debuted. That had better be a coincidence. But since Meitenkun fights with a pillow and is always sleepy, it probably isn't. Oh, but hey, Danny, why are you picking on this? It's just a stupid show. This should have been your warm-up. Come on! Jungle Deiko is way worse than this. Oh? Oh, really? Do you want to know why I put this as last? What really put this above Aiken levels of badness? Well, sit down, because I'ma tell you. Episode 7 of this series gave us a character named Haruto Anakawa, and he is described as, and I quote, a hot 5-year-old. I don't want to hear about cultural differences because that's just disturbing. I don't know how I'm ever gonna top that, but then again, I never thought I'd come across something worse than Aiken, and between episode 7 of Pillow Boys and Jungle Daiku, I think I may have found something worse than Aiken. I need a palate cleanse. I don't know, something to help get my mind off of constant sexualization of children in anime. I need some... Yeah, you know what? That's perfect! I'll see you guys in 2017. Hey, thanks for watching, and if you have any bad anime that you would like to see me talk about in the future, be sure to let me know in the comments below. But if you enjoyed watching this, be sure to give it a like and share. Oh, and subscribe if you haven't. I do funny stuff. Sometimes. Oh, your day is coming. And it will sting like the bee. Yeah.